and welcome back to my channel. I am so glad to be recording this video. Oof, look at that steam from the cup. Which brings me to today's video. I suggest you grab a cup of tea for this one, like this one, and maybe light a candle, because I am really settling into this cozy autumn weather, which is not as cozy in India, but well, you can just look at the brighter side. I'm cozying into the fall weather more like, which I think is more of a European thing, whatever. So I decided to do a chill poetry session with you, also because I've been really busy this past week and I'm going to be as busy the next week, but I do want to keep up my consistency regarding videos, you know. I'm an amateur content creator and stuff like that. Yeah. So today is going to be a chill poetry reading session. As you know that I use poetry in a lot of my dance videos because I love poetry just like I love dance, and I try to imbibe everything I love into the things I do. So yeah, so let's just be reading from a bunch of different books that I've got, bunch of different poetry collections which I'm very, very proud to own. So one of them is vintage, so I might not be able to give you a link to that, but the others are pretty much available in every known bookshop, if not then Amazon, and I will link them down below because these are books, and if you are someone who loves poetry as much as I do, I think these are books you should own. And I'm not going to read too many, I'm going to read one from each, that will make it 5. So yeah, okay. So the first book that I chose is Conversation Pieces. This is from the Everyman's Library Pocket Poet series. And Conversation Pieces basically contains poems that were written in conversation with one another. Maybe one was written alone and someone wrote it as a reply to it. And we'll start with good old William Wordsworth. So the poem's name is The World is Too Much with Us. Already poetic. The world is too much with us, late and soon. Getting and spending, we lay waste our powers. Little we see in nature that is ours. We have given our hearts away, a sordid boon. This sea that bears her bosom to the moon. The winds that will be howling at all hours, and are up gathered now like sleeping flowers. For this, for everything, we are out of tune. It moves us not. Great God, I'd rather be a pagan suckled in a creed outworn, so might I, standing on this pleasant lea, have glimpses that would make me less forlorn. Have sight of Proteus rising from the sea, or hear old Triton blow his wreathed horn. That was Wordsworth. And in reply to that, we have 2 poems. I'm going to read the one by Denise Levertov. And this one's called O Taste and See. The world is not with us enough. Oh, taste and see. The subway Bible poster said, meaning the Lord. Meaning, if anything, all that lives to the imagination's tongue, grief, mercy, language, tangerine, whether to breathe them, bite, savor, chew, swallow, transform into our flesh, our deaths, crossing the street, plum, quince, living in the orchard and being hungry and plucking the fruit. It was quite something. The next one is not a poetry book, and I forgot to tell that in the intro. This is actually a collection of love letters, and this one is also from the Everyman's Library Pocket Poet series. And the reason I probably chose this is because this particular love letter in question is nothing less than poetry, and I cannot, even though Virginia Woolf and Rita Sackville West weren't so much poets as they were writers. They were very holistic writers, great writers, not specifically poets. Their love letters are nothing less than poetry. So this one was written from Vita Sackville West to Virginia Woolf on Thursday, 21st January 1927. I am reduced to a thing that wants Virginia. I composed a beautiful letter to you in the sleepless nightmare hours of the night, and it has all gone. I just miss you in a quite simple, desperate human way. You, with all your undone letters, would never write so elementary a phrase as that. Perhaps you wouldn't even feel it. And yet I believe you will be sensible of a little gap. But you'd clothe it in so exquisite a phrase that it would lose a little of its reality. Whereas with me, it is quite stark. I miss you even more than I could have believed. And I was prepared to miss you a good deal. So this letter is just really a squeal of pain. It is incredible how essential to me you've become. I suppose you are accustomed to people saying these things. Damn you, spoilt creature. I shan't make you love me any the more by giving myself away like this. But oh my dear, I can't be clever and standoffish with you. I love you too much for that. Too truly. You have no idea how standoffish I can be with people I don't love. I have brought it to a fine art, but you have broken down my defenses, and I don't really resent it. And I think that's one of the most beautiful works of writing ever written. Okay, so the next book, as you can see, is covered. It was from when I took up elective English, one of the first steps toward actually achieving an English honors. And this book is filled with notes such as these, you can see. And this one is one particular little poem by Ted Hughes, which is not so well known, surprisingly, but it's so beautiful. It's a poem about writing a poem and a beautiful metaphor in itself, and I suggest you all read it, honestly. So this one's called The Thought Fox. I imagine this midnight moment's forest, something else is alive, beside the clock's loneliness, and this blank page where my fingers move. Through the window I see no star. Something more near, though deeper within darkness, is entering the loneliness. Cold, delicately as the dark snow, a fox's nose touches twig, leaf. Two eyes serve a movement that now and again, now and now and now, sets neat prints into the snow between trees, and warily a lame shadow lags by stump and in hollow of a body that is bold to come. Across clearings, an eye, a widening, deepening greenness, brilliantly concentratedly coming about its own business, till with a sudden sharp hot stink of fox, it enters the dark hole of the head. The window is starless still, the clock ticks, the page is printed. Thought Fox. Vintage edition that I was talking about. This is the Penguin Book of English Verse, which I sort of thrifted, and I don't know if this is going to be available on the market. I'm also kind of gatekeeping it. This one is my favorite poem ever, not just by a certain poet, obviously by the certain poet whose name is Auden, W.H. Auden. And this is a section of a poem called Lullaby. And this was actually the book in which I discovered this poem for the first time. So this one is titled with its opening line, that is, "Lay your sleeping head, my love. Lay your sleeping head, my love, human on my faithless arm, Time and fevers burn away individual beauty from thoughtful children, and the grave proves the child ephemeral. But in my arms, till break of day, let the living creature lie, mortal guilty, but to me the entirely beautiful. Soul and body have no bounds, to lovers as they lie upon her tolerant enchanted slope in their ordinary swoon, crave the vision Venus sends of supernatural sympathy, universal love and hope, while an abstract insight wakes among the glaciers and the rocks, the hermit's sensual ecstasy. Certainty, fidelity on the stroke of midnight pass like vibrations of a bell, and fashionable madmen raise their pedantic, boring cry. Every farthing of the cost, all the dreaded cards foretell, shall be paid, but from this night, not a whisper, not a thought, not a kiss, nor look be lost. Beauty, midnight, vision dies. Let the winds of dawn that blow softly round your dreaming head such a day of sweetness show, eye and knocking heart may bless. Find the mortal world enough, noons of dryness see you fed by the involuntary powers. Nights of insult let you pass, watched by every human love. Can't blame me for being a fan of Auden. This is the last but never ever the least collection of poems. This is the world that belongs to us, beautifully curated by Aditi Angiras and Akhil Katyal, two very inspiring people. And this is an anthology of queer poetry from South Asia. And this is probably the second book I'd grab in the case of God forbid. This one is by Aditi Angiras herself. I'll read the little bio that's given here. Aditi Angiras is a poet, writer and artist based in New Delhi. She's the founder of Bring Back the Poets, a queer collective of South Asian poets. And this particular poem is one of my favorites from this collection. It's titled My Mad Girl's Love Song. As you probably have already guessed from the title, it's like a conversation with Sylvia Plath's Mad Girl's Love Song. There are days when I really miss you, Sylvia. Nights like these I wonder, what if things were different that one night and you had met me at that party? 1956, February 25th, between the jazz and the poems, drinking whiskey and ginger wine, walking on air like a holy high. You'd stumble and step on my toes so we'd end up dancing all night. You'd quote me, my poems, and I'd quote you, more poems, where you'd not need to be you, confused, inebriated, and I'd not need to be huge with the ladies. I dreamed that you bewitched me into bed, oh Sylvia, and sung me moonstruck, kissed me quite insane. Head in the clouds, you'd caught me singing, oh Nana, what's my name? Now that we're sober, tell me, dear Sylvia, would you still die with your head in the oven? Or stay 6 years later to hold my hand at the Stonewall riots? Say, won't you write me a poem to tell me we're real, alive not dead, loving like leaping like lovers, so I'd stop feeling that. I think I made you up inside my head. Even though I had to bleep out 2 words for just to be YouTube appropriate, and you probably guessed what they were. So still stands to be one of the most beautiful poems I've ever read. My camera's gonna die very soon, so I'm just gonna do a quick outro. I hope you like this video, and poetry is very important to me, as I said earlier, so I wanted to share it with you guys and also provide you a background for the videos I make. Choreography, which is my main forte and main motive with this YouTube channel. Go like, share, comment, subscribe, drop down your favorite poems in the comments below and I'll definitely check them out. Checking out poetry is like my thing. So definitely do that and go check out my choreographies. And have a nice cozy fall and winter. Bye.